All right, everyone. So let's just settle into a nice, comfortable meditation. Nice seated posture. And if you're sitting at your desk, you can have your feet about a hip's width apart, your knees about a hip's width apart, and your shoulders are aligned with your hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Really put some space in between those vertebrae. Just imagine you're lengthening. Don't force it, don't push, just a very gentle kind of expansion. Nicely aligned, ears are aligned with the shoulders. And then bring your attention to the crown of the head and just release any tension. The head, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Be aware of any sound in your environment. Just allowing the sounds to be there and trying not to get distracted. And then be aware of the thoughts that are in the mind. So, from the conversations that sometimes I'm coming into when I get onto Zoom, I'm noticing, like tonight, some of you are actually going quite deep into the practice. It's very beautiful to hear. So, you can take a step back from some of these thoughts. Half of them, sometimes we get so entangled in them, we get all kind of wrapped up in it. All we need to do is, separate ourselves a little bit, have a good night's sleep, maybe go for a good walk, watch a good movie. Sometimes that's all it takes for us to sort of separate ourselves from this kind of intensity that we can get caught up in. And you can breathe. So try not to judge yourself for the thoughts that are arising, for the state of mind that you get into. Watch objectively. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our beloveds, our loved ones, our strangers, and the ones we don't like so much. And just remember they can all change place at any time, this friend, this enemy, this stranger. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy, they wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So it's particularly important to think about the capacity for Buddhahood in the ones we don't like, because they're generally the ones that we don't think are capable of very much. So there might be a politician you don't like, or someone in the media that you keep seeing that you don't like or don't approve of the way they go about their life. And then you try and remember that, yes, they too do have Buddha nature somewhere. So I think there is, well, we'll do this practice for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. And we keep thinking and praying for Mummy Max to have a precious human rebirth or rebirth in a pure realm. And also for Charmaine's mother, same. So now we think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and we're using our minds. This is a psychological process. We create negativity with our minds so we can create positivity instead. So think like this. We start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything that you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything, excuse me, due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I don't want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then regret our delusions, all our attachment and the rest of the cause of why we harm others, and then think I'm sick of this suffering, and then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy. And this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mempi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shiam kuruhum, ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama mimutta vajrabawa, mahasamaya satva a hompe, and vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mempi yatta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Te. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra in this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same, the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and depression, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satva A Hompe Vajrasapta Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapta Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe vajrasappa samaya manupalaya vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hompe, vajrasappa samaya manupalaya, vajrasappa dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hompe Vajrasappa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasappa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of this kind of like negative energy from the mind. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita. Dida meboa, sutukaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind, or to at least think about refraining from harming. So without making such a determination, we're just going to keep following the same old energy patterns over and over again. Habit from this lifetime, habit from previous lifetimes. So at some point we have to decide, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to live my life a little bit differently. And so once you make a decision to do that, it becomes like an aspiration, a beacon guiding our body and our speech and our mind in different directions. So we can think of some habit that we have. First of all, rejoice in your efforts. Amazing, beautiful group. This extraordinary practice. It's almost like a gift that we've been given. So think of something you'd like to work on, maybe just or at least look at. And maybe if you can catch that little ego as it rises its head up. And notice it and just rejoice. And this determination to sort of refrain from doing things is what gives us the strength to change, the will, the want. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at what level you understand emptiness, you can place your mind there for a little while, thinking of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy created by doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So we can think for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, to continue to be able to teach, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for the long lives of all your precious teachers, and for Mummy Max to have a precious human rebirth, or a rebirth in a pure realm for Charmaine's mother, and then Stephanie, get well, get through that COVID quickly. And remember, I think Hillary, as Mary's friend, Mary told Hillary, I think it was Hillary. Anyway, that the one that got kind of hit, she was in London and coming out of a tube, one of the underground stations, I think, and got hit by a van, and I think they're medevacing her back to the United States. But she was very, very happy to hear that we had dedicated for her. So it just cheers people up. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and lots of love and sweet dreams, and sleep well. And I will see you all tomorrow evening. Okay.
Thank you, Venerable.
Good night.